This is Sivenathi Mona from CTICC Media, and we are here with...
You're here with Katlaho Panama from Occupying the Gallery, Joburg based.
My brother, please tell us more about this art gallery, this exhibition so far. Like, I love what I'm seeing right here because I can see like that it's inspired by our townships. You know, tell us more about this experience so far.
Not a problem. So the work is done by an artist called Hook Soweto. He's a photographer, and how the work came about is he was cycling around Soweto and taking pictures, and he was just struck by this phenomenon of seeing a lot of houses with their walls outside painted not for sale. And then he started to be more interested and wanted to investigate what is that about and how it came about. And then as we're doing more research about that, he came across a thesis, or rather dissertation, done by Douglas. I keep forgetting his surname. And that was the formal documentation that we have of how these houses came about. So these houses, chronological term is NE51, meaning non-European houses. And they were built during the apartheid-era, a house where black people would be living. Yes, so you'll see in most townships, you have houses like this. Sometimes the structure is not necessarily the same, but the idea is really that it's the same. So these houses, the piloting was in Soweto, and then there's a highly contested figure by the name of Verwoerd. So he liked the houses and then commissioned them across South Africa, so nationwide. So that's why you even see the houses Kukuletu has, Khayelitsha has, you go to KZN, some of the townships has, you go to Mpumalanga, you see them across.
Concentration camps.
Yes, but they built differently, so that's what they are. So that's how they came about. So Hook started now and crying a lot more. Everyone else is taking pictures of these houses, but our understanding of it is very different. So what his body of work then speaks into what the houses are, how they came about. And then I form part of the collective as I'm coming in with the lens of, now these houses, the first thing when we see them, we identify with them as a sense of memory and identity, because that's where many of us come from. And I work in the heritage space, and I see this house as a built structure, a heritage built structure, but it's also living heritage because this is an existing living space. So that's what I see it as. So with the body of work here, what we try to do is we try to bring a sense of what these houses inside would look like. So there's these chairs that we're sitting on. Most people, yes, they easily gravitate to these houses because they know them. So they're either blue or yellow. Some of the things that we're missing is the animal cups and plates. Yes, and then we have a kist that most houses had, or they had a room divider. We couldn't bring about a room divider. And then we have those three lions. Other people had the cats, some people had the puppies, and then you'd always have a lace there. So that lace means a number of things, because during apartheid, so we're trying to bring what was inside the original house. So during apartheid also, these houses were often next to Apollo lights, and their lights, or rather the frames of the windows, were very small. So, and you're not allowed to have a thick curtain, you're allowed to have a very thin curtain so that it's for surveillance, yes, they can see what it is that you're doing. So, but what black people did, we're still seeing it today. We were put in these houses to be dehumanized, desensitized, but a lot of beautiful stories came out of those houses. So we're bringing back those things that were meant to harm us, but actually made us stronger and more beautiful, made our lives worth more celebrating. So Hook now confronts this as a basis of, we understand the work in different scopes. Some people were very fortunate enough to stay in that house for a short bit and then move out. Some people still very much live in those houses, yes. So now, and these are parts of ourselves that are not highly celebrated, and they need to, because this is one thing that we can, it's a shared history, it's a shared memory. So that's what we have, and that's some of the basis of what this work talks about. So this work is largely based in Soweto because the houses are from Soweto. So you'll see there's also a couple of old Soweto maps before it was extended and what it looked like. And then there's also all of these houses taken here were documented in Soweto. And then it was that. Now trying to understand why some of these houses are being sold. Unfortunately, some is because one family member is successful and doesn't want to be aligned to the house, so they want to sell it. Sometimes it's internal family wars because there's disputes and they want to sell the house and some don't. Some because the house is in a dilapidated state, no one is taking care of the house. And sometimes is like what's happening in Cape Town, gentrification and displacement. People are being displaced out of their homes. So even Cape Townians who don't necessarily stay in the four-roomed houses, they could understand what that meant. And then we also have, there's a brand in Soweto called Thesis. It's turning 21 years this year. One of the most beautiful brands that came about just to bring a creative space into Sowetans. We don't have to go out. Instead, we can go into that space, celebrate music, celebrate fashion, celebrate art. So we felt that because we're speaking about Soweto, we need to collaborate with a brand that its identity is really about that, yes. So we collaborated with Thesis for some of the merch. Yeah, so and then so these houses, because they're four-roomed, we either call them Matchbox or Fodladla. So and then this is some of what the work is about. There's also tote bags, there's also another t-shirt. So it was meant for if you can't, the work speaks to you, but you can't afford to buy the work, there is a piece that you can have, yes, that speaks to you. So that's purely, actually it could be a lot more. I just touched surface on what the work is about, but there's a lot more to it. So yes.
Thank you so much, my brother, man. I love what you've explained, because some of us, like, we're still going through some tough stuff, like we're talking about, especially like when we talk about like being moved to other places, especially right here in Cape Town, Cape Flats and everything that is happening.
District 6, I can really understand that, and the experience here has been very welcoming because many people were not expecting to see such work that confronts their lifestyle and who they were. And it's been warm. Some of the pieces that have been bought from the store, and when you hear the stories, it's like, we feel like we're not even doing enough. But we're beautiful. It's happy. We're very happy that people are actually gravitating towards what it is that we're offering, and they want more of it. So yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother. We would like to see more of what you're doing on the higher scale. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Keep doing the beautiful work as well.
Shout out to Captas Media.
Shout out Captas Media. Thank you. Cheers.